Today I'm going to try and make fish cakes because I want to make odeng. But not just any fish cakes. I want to try and make the flat ones that you get, which are usually like folded up and then put onto skewers. It's really common in Korean street food. I'll throw up a picture now of what it looks like. Problem is, I need to figure out how to make the sheets because the batter is super sticky. So it's going to be a bit of a challenge to make the sheets really nice and thin. So here I've got my fish. I've got some boneless, skinless cod, just some raw prawns, and then the tube part of a squid. Okay, first thing, let's cut up our fish pieces into smaller chunks so that they'll blend easier. You can really use any seafood for this. I'm just using things that were cheaper and easier to get. I'm not going to bother cutting up the prawns since they're in pretty good chunk sizes already. And now, just get the food processor. I'm just going to dump everything in here, add some salt, add some pepper, and then try and get it into as smooth of a paste as possible. Dump everything in. And then we'll blend this up. Next thing we're going to do is dice up some vegetables to put in there. So I'm going to use carrots, onion, and spring onion. And a spring onion. Actually, I'm just going to use a shallot because that's what I have for now. I think I'm only going to use about half of this carrot, so we'll use this end. Cut it lengthways. Peel this outside layer off. Just really roughly cut this up. And then we'll throw all of this into our blender. Okay, let's leave it at that for now. Next thing we need to add is some cornstarch and some egg. So I got my cornstarch. Let's add about a tablespoon. Let's put about 2 tablespoons in. I only really want to use the egg whites, but if I fail at this and I get the yolk in, we'll just use the whole thing. Detach, there you go, cool. Well, that worked well. And then we'll do another quick pulse it together. And then hopefully that should work. We'll move this out the way for now. We'll use this. So I want to dump all of this out into here. And then get all of this out. So I'm kind of sort of spread it out using 2 bench scrapers. You know what, that actually looks pretty good. So next part is to take this and then spread it out onto a baking tray with baking paper on it, and then we'll put it in the oven. Let that bake for a little bit so that it holds its shape. And then we'll take that and then we'll deep fry it very lightly just to get the outside crisp. Okay, so we got baking paper. Next thing we need to do is just take some of this, throw it on. I'm Might just do the whole thing in one go and then cut it up afterwards and then deep fry it like that. So we'll really just spread this out. Try and fill up the whole thing. Doesn't matter if the edges are rounded off a little bit. We'll cut them straight afterwards. The goal is to make this as even as possible. Might be some big chunks of carrot still in there, but they should be all right. Cool. Let's throw that in the oven now. So I'm gonna just go at 180 Celsius and then do, so top and bottom heat, fan on with ventilation on. Ovens come up to temperature, so let's throw this in. So let's say we'll leave that in there for 10 minutes for now. And then after 10 minutes, we'll check on it. If it's good, if it's nice and solidified, we'll take it out, we'll let it cool down, and then we'll fry it afterwards. Okay, it's been 10 minutes, so let's take it out. This, and then just slide that right off. And let's see if this will release. Oh, nice. I think this might have worked out. It's okay if a little bit comes off on the paper. And voila. Cut clean edge here. This one here. So I'm going to cut it down the middle so that we've got two sheets. Kind of looks like an omelette. Okay, so the oil's hot now. I've already tested a few pieces. So now, let's drop in our first one. I'm going to make sure I flip it so that it cooks evenly. I don't want it getting too golden and crispy. So actually I might just pull it out now. And then lay it off to the side here. I have a pan, I have a tray, let it drain. And then we'll take this one out. Let's have a look. After all that, maybe once this cools off a bit, it'll become a bit more flexible, but for now, I think that turned out really well. That's what a store-bought one looks like, and that's what my ones look like. So I think that went pretty well. Store-bought, my ones. Let's do a quick taste test. That is spot on. That tastes better than, way better than the store-bought stuff. That's delicious. So, I guess it worked out really well. Experiment successful.